Hi, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Let's get into blood flow and blood pressure and pick up where we left off the last time we met. The cardiovascular system functions. So, what does the cardiovascular system do? Obviously, it's made up of the heart, blood vessels, and contains blood. Uh, they all work to transport oxygen and nutrients to cells and waste from cells to liver, kidneys, and lungs, right? So, when I think of wastes, think of carbon dioxide, urea, creatinine, things like that. They transport hormones, immune cells, and clotting proteins to target cells. And the goal of that heart and those blood vessels are to maintain pressure in the vessels so blood will flow to organs and tissues. The circulatory loop goes heart, then arteries come off the heart, or arteries go away from the heart, right? Then we have arterioles, which are smaller and more numerous. And then we have capillaries. Capillaries are at the organs or at the extremities, like your hands, your skeletal muscle, your feet, your kidney, your liver, what have you. Capillaries is actually where diffusion takes place between the blood and the interstitium. Um, and that's where gas exchange occurs. Then going back to the heart, you have venules, and then you have veins. When you think of veins, think of your superior vena cava and your inferior vena cava, and they go back to the heart. So your arteries are the large main vessels that conduct blood away from the heart. Can you give me a major artery in your body that takes blood away from the heart? Good, your aorta. Okay, so then it branches into arterioles. And then at the tissue level, we have capillaries. And this is actually where diffusion takes place between the blood and the interstitium. And then we have venules that collect blood from the capillaries. So the venules are going to have CO2 in them and a lot of waste products because they came from the tissues. Then the veins take the blood back to the heart. If you take a look at blood vessels, they have three layers. So they have a tunica intima, which is the internal layer, a tunica media, which is the middle layer, and then tunica externa, which is the external layer. You should have looked at this slide or this histological slide in the anatomy lab that we did, so the heart anatomy lab. If you didn't, it's here now, so let's go over this. The tunica intima, so blood vessels, whether it's an artery, so we're talking about an artery on the left side of your screen or a vein on the right side of your screen. Um, arteries and veins have the same three layers. So the tunica intima is actually smooth muscle, or excuse me, it is simple squamous endothelium. So it's a layer of simple squamous endothelial lining, and then it has some elastic fibers in it, or an elastic membrane. The tunica media, or the middle layer, is where you find the smooth muscle. And so that smooth muscle is what's going to do the constricting and dilating to ultimately regulate blood pressure. And then the tunica externa is connective tissue. If you look at the arteries are not compliant. They hold their shape really well. You can see this artery, the dark coloring that you see in the inside is actually elastic fibers. So elastic fibers are found in the tunica intima and then in the connective tissue. And those elastic fibers allow that artery to be stretchy. Take a look at the vein. The vein has the same layers, the tunica intima, the tunica media, and the tunica externa. The difference is that the vein is really compliant. It's really stretchy and it doesn't hold its shape well. Blood can tend to pool in veins more because the veins are just sort of sitting there, right? The arteries hold their shape really well and they kind of push blood through the body, whereas the veins don't.